Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. Happy Easter. I can't think of an absolutely better day to bring out part 4 of the work series, which is all about the spiritual work that's going to assist you through this ascension process that you happen to be on. If you are going through any kind of awakening, a twin flame situationship, a kundalini awakening, a spiritual awakening, what the hell is happening to me awakening, you are in the right place. And so today, as requested by a lot of people recently, I'm going to dive into some of the spiritual tools and techniques that you can use to help assist you, especially as the process of the energy that's moving through your chakra system and clearing out, and most importantly, activating that pineal gland, brings online your spiritual gifts that can feel very overwhelming, confusing, scary, terrifying, panic-inducing, even bring about a spiritual emergency. And I'm going to do another video down the line specifically about spiritual emergency and crisis. I've been through it multiple times myself, and it is a very unpleasant experience. So as your intuitive knowings and your third eye center of your third eye chakra right here comes online and activates, it can bring about a lot of confusion, because we are used to living in a world where we rely upon our 5 sensory system, our sight, our sound, smell, our sense, our hearing, our touch, all of those. And so when all of a sudden, boom, you're activated into hearing things that are out of this world, although they're just out of your line of reference, they're not actually out of this world. We're a multi-dimensional, multi-layered being, and there's multiple things going on. We just haven't been privy to it. So there has been a veil of separation that is starting to dissolve in this awakening process. And in so doing, that opens us up to seeing spirits, to hearing communication with spirits, or hearing voices perhaps. It opens us up to our empathic abilities to a whole new heightened level. I'm clairsentient, and one of the skills that I have is to feel and absorb other people's issues. And I feel it on the physical. It's not just a like, oh, I sense that you've got a sore tummy. No, if you have a sore tummy, I will have a sore tummy. I used to work with a lot of clients as a Reiki Master that had cancer. And on those certain days, I'd have certain clients that I would have to schedule at the last of the day, because I would just be, my body would be absolutely in a state of overwhelm. And immediately I would have to go home and do some of my own spiritual practices that I'm going to share with you today to help clear my energy. And so let's start with clearing as number 1. So maybe you are absorbing certain information now as an empath, and your skills such as clairsentience are coming online, or you're starting to intuit things at more and more information and feeling very overwhelmed, and the energy can feel at times even negative, because when you open the channel to source energy, you open up a channel that's going to also attract in a certain degree of negative energies as well. It's like turning on a light on the porch, and all of a sudden all the moths and the flies and the creatures and critters head towards the light. And so as light workers, as star seeds, as twin flames, when you begin to your ascension process and you get into the higher level of consciousness, you will attract not only beautiful, wonderful things and wonderful people into your life, and you will repel certain other people out of your life that are like, no, not for me. You will also bring in some negative energies, and it's a training ground. Look at it like this: it's a training ground for you to step into your personal power. And so as you're overwhelmed with these situations and fraught with difficulties, just keep in the back of your mind, oh, wait a second, I'm in training. I'm in training to step into my power. I always like to look at it like Batman Begins in the first movie. I love my superhero movies, and in the beginning of Batman Begins, he has to go and train and learn his skills, and he's flattened and he's on the ground and his ego gets hit, and you're training, you're learning martial arts, you're learning all these things that you can do to protect yourself, and in that learning phase, it's difficult. So consider yourself to be in training, in warrior boot camp, when all your gifts come online and you have to learn how to manage your energy and manage your power and manage clearing. So clearing your energy is as equally important as it is brushing your teeth, as it is bathing. So it's spiritual hygiene, so to speak. And if you don't perform clearings on a daily basis, you leave yourself open to any number of situations that may be unpleasant for you and take in and absorb other people's energies that you really don't want. So what are some ways that you can use to clear your energetic field? First and foremost, you can use the power of intention and the power of mind to visualize clearing yourself and doing like a full body scan and checking in with yourself and seeing, okay, where is something off? Where is something not right? Where is something uncomfortable? And purify that energy using one fantastic way is to use the power of the violet flame. And so this is a visualization. I'm sure there's YouTube available. Steve Noble is a wonderful guy that does guided meditations, and you can find his channel here on YouTube. And I'm sure he has a violet flame meditation or other clearing meditations that help assist you in walking through the process for the first time of clearing your energetic field. But utilizing the violet flame, which resonates with Archangel Zadkiel and or Saint Germain, you can call in these ascended masters to assist you and say, please, I'm setting the intention. I need my auric field cleared. And visualize a flame of beautiful violet light. It's not a hot flame. It's got no heat to it. It's not fire, but it synthesizes and goes through and clears away and purifies any type of energies that aren't in alignment with you. I also regularly use a prayer of sorts, and I will post that at the end of this video so that you can, and I'll even put a PDF version so that you can download easily in the description, that you can utilize. And I say that 3 times to clear my energetic field, and it's very, very useful and has come in handy more times than I can tell you through my spiritual awakening. So I highly recommend using that. So that's like a clearing statement that you can use. Another way to clear your energetic field is through the use of sacred smoke. And I use sage personally, much to my kids not liking the smell of it, but tough tooties. I find it to be the most powerful in clearing the energies, and you can use sage anytime you want. If you've been sick, if somebody in the house has been sick, if you've had a bad day at work and you've had negative interactions and you've come home and you're feeling icky, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just cleansing your auric field completely and utterly, going up and down and all through, and purify your energy field that way. Clear the room, clear your home, clear. Make sure to open the windows so that that smoke has somewhere to go. It picks up all that stuff and it has somewhere to clear out too. So if you don't like the smell of sage, there's other wonderful incenses that you can use that is sacred. Just make sure that you're buying pure quality incense. Make sure that the incense that you choose are not perfumed, manufactured. You want natural, because these are made with special herbs and spices and all kinds of stuff. Synthetic something is not going to give you the same amount of healing as anything, which is the same when I can say about if you're using any type of aromatherapies in your home. Those vibrate at a very high frequency, but if you're using synthetic aromatherapies or Glade plug-in or perfumed or chemical manufactured, you're not getting any spiritual benefit out of it. In fact, you're giving yourself a lot of toxins that you're breathing in. So do make sure that anything that you're burning in your space, whether it be incense sticks or aromatherapy to purify and cleanse, if you want a nice aromatherapy that's very high vibration, to keep things in lighter energy, I would recommend frankincense is very useful. If you're trying to calm your energy, myrrh. Oh, geez, are we getting a little bit of a theme here going? If you're looking to ground yourself, maybe something more in the lines of anything woody. or musky scent is going to help, like a nice sandalwood or something like that will help bring your energy down. So those are some ways to clear the energy that's around you, and just go in, take the incense stick and go in and clear all your auric fields and purify. Another way to cleanse or clear your energies is through the use of salt baths. Even best if you can get into an actual ocean, that would be lovely. But if you don't have access to an ocean or a fresh body of water, is pour some sea salts, and I mean like a heaping cup full of sea salts or Epsom salts into your bath. You can also put in baking soda because that helps purify and detoxify. Some bentonite clay if you're looking to like help ground. A little bit of aromatherapy again into the bath if you are wanting to raise your frequency or help ground your energy. I highly recommend grounding, and I'll get more into that because that's coming up. So the second thing that is very important for your spiritual hygiene is shielding and understanding when you need to create healthy boundaries and barriers in the spiritual realm so that you're not taking on energy in the first place, other people's stuff. And as empaths, it's a life lesson that we all have to learn, to come to a place of learning where I end and where somebody else begins, because a lot of empathy is not necessarily created. I don't necessarily go along with the thinking that all empaths are created based on their traumatic upbringing, although that exacerbates what was naturally born to you. So we're naturally born with empathic skills, and then if you go through a household where you have been raised by a self-absorbed parent, a narcissistic parent, a household with alcoholism, a household with neglect, what you have learned to do over time is that you utilize that empathy to the nth degree and turning it up full notch, so that what you can do is almost enmesh yourself into other people so that you can constantly be reading the energy and satisfying other people, thus becoming a people pleaser. And that's for survival. Humans require others, especially when we're young humans, we require others to feed us, to clothe us, to put a roof over our heads. And if we annoy, or the person that is our primary caregiver is self-absorbed with their own traumas, their own toxicities, their own addictions, then the only way to keep ourselves alive is to read that situation and become so enmeshed and so empathetic towards that person that we negate self. And so that boundary between myself and you becomes blurry. So every single empath, which I would say is every single starseed, every single light worker, and every single twin flame, has definitely got in their life's mission a little bit of learning the lesson, and could be a hard lesson, of where empathy becomes self-abuse, because empathy without boundaries is abuse to self. So it's vitally important that we learn how to shield, and when we learn how to shield, we're not absorbing and taking on everybody else's things. So when you walk into a room, you're not thinking, okay, well, how can I help you, and how can I satisfy you, and this people-pleasing behavior is not a healthy behavior. It's a toxic behavior. It's very much negating self, and in so doing, it's also quite manipulative, because we're not doing things out of the goodness of our heart. We're doing things because we've trained. We have to do those to survive. So one way that you can utilize to shield your energy is, again, using intention and visualization, and just picture yourself in a ball of white light where nothing can penetrate that light, and practice that throughout the day as many times as you need to. And just, it's like shielding up, you can pretend that you're giving commands to higher source and say, ready the shields, and shield up in that white light that just nothing negative can penetrate. Another tool that I like to use as a visualization is the reverse Christmas ball, is what I call it. I don't know what it's actually called. I've been doing this for about 15 to 20 years. And that's visualizing myself inside a Christmas ball. You know, these mirrored Christmas balls that hang off the tree, and when you look at them, you see your reflection. So if you're inside that Christmas ball, and I find this particularly useful when you're dealing with negative people, because they come at you with their stuff and they're like, you did this, you did that, I'm unhappy, I'm blah, blah, blah. And so if you're inside this Christmas ball, imagine they're basically talking to themselves. They're talking to the reflection. They're not talking to you. You're protected within the ball. They're talking to their own reflection. They're talking to themselves. As they say, you know, when people come at you accusing you of things, there's one finger pointing out and three fingers pointing back. That's because most people, when they accuse you of things, are projecting their own shadow that they have yet to deal with. So don't take personally what other people throw out. You know, a lot of times when people throw out things, especially to light workers, because light workers naturally trigger the shadows and the demon energies in other people, and like, it irritates all their negative energy. So it's like being a cornered animal like Cujo with rabies trapped in the corner, and you're shining a flashlight on it without intending to. It's not like you mean to. You're a light bringer, so you shine a light on somebody and they're going to turn around and be like, ah. And so they're throwing stuff out to get you away from them. And just like monkeys, you know, when they throw their own shit, just because somebody's throwing shit doesn't mean you need to pick it up and own it and go, is this my shit? Does this belong to me? They said that I'm this. They said I'm a that. Am I this? Am I that? No, don't pick it up. So when people are throwing things, just don't pick it up. That's the answer to that. Of course, if you're being triggered by what they're saying, that's an awesome opportunity to look within and do some shadow work, because triggers are the doorbell to healing. So keep that in mind. You do need to utilize some of the experiences. Well, why is this bothering me? If they're calling me this or they're calling me that, they're saying I'm cruel, or they're saying I'm a bitch. Sit down and be with that energy for a little bit of time and really contemplate it and say, well, am I that, or are they just describing themselves and projecting outwards? Do utilize triggers as best you can, but that's not really what we're talking about in regards to the spiritual work, although that should probably be added to my list of utilizing triggers. Because triggers are the best way for healing. They're the absolute best way, each and every single time. Whenever you find yourself in a state of emotion, any type of emotion whatsoever, going within and figuring out where that emotion originated from, it is very much going to help you. And I think that really ties into the emotion work video. And if you haven't watched that, please go check that one out. Another way to shield is calling on the energies of Archangel Michael. And I have channeled Michael and worked with Michael's energy for a very long time. And you can imagine Michael in your mind's eye in the blue ray and carrying a big hefty shield and a mighty sword. And so when you call in Michael, what you're doing is you're asking him to like cut through all the bull crap and cut the cords to the things that don't work for you and protect you. So, you know, just dear Archangel Michael, please protect me. Please protect my children. Please protect this home. Please protect the You movement. Please protect the warriors out within. Please protect my financials. Please protect, you know, anything and everything. Call on Michael. The rule with angels is they're there to help you, but you have to actually ask. They're not allowed to intercede without asking first. So also remember, that's the numero uno rule when it comes to invoking and bringing in the assistance from higher realms, is you have to actually ask, because there's a rule here on earth called free will. So they're not allowed to intercede unless you ask. Number 3, spiritual work that is absolutely mandatory is grounding. And I have done so many videos I can't even count on grounding. I've done grounding meditations. I've done explanations of why grounding is important. So I'm not going to go into too many details here. Please feel free to check out the playlist called Grounding. But to review, grounding is all about grounding your energy. No different than a house has an electrical system, you also have an electrical system. It's called your nervous system. And while you're going through a spiritual awakening, your nervous system is going to be wah, because the energy is flowing through you at a much higher rate than you may be used to. Sorry about the dogs. They want to be in the video too. When you are in this higher energy, you need to ground it. No different than your house, as electricals have a grounding jack in all of it, so that any extra energy is going to be brought back into the earth. So how do you ground? Well, you do what I'm doing right now. You get outside and you get your bare feet onto the ground, or sit down. Go sit near trees. Go walking into the forest. Get grounding sheets or grounding mats. Utilize crystals or rocks, preferably black or red ones, because those ones have to do with the root chakra. So my favorite stone to use on this spiritual journey is, without question, hematite. And I think if you are a twin flame, every single twin flame should have some hematite with them at all times. Any other stones like that, shungite is also a particularly good one, because it helps neutralize the energies that you may be becoming more and more sensitive to. And when I say energies, I just don't mean spiritual energies. I mean electrical energies, electromagnetic energies through EMFs and everything else. So be prepared that your energy is going to be always rising. So grounding is a hugely important process on your ascension path. Check out the grounding playlist, as I mentioned, if you're wanting more information and you want to go a little bit deeper into the grounding. Number 4 is meditation, and meditation may not be something that is easy for everybody to do. So I want to suggest to you, you start with aligned walking as a mindful meditation, a mindful movement meditation, especially if you're on the spectrum. And when I say spectrum, I mean the spectrum of light, which includes, from the psychological point of view, the autistic spectrum, and from the spiritual point of view, all the indigo children, the light workers, the crystals, all the starseeds, the blue rays, all of you, we're on the spectrum. It's the same spectrum. We're just looking at it from 2 different points of view. So psychologically, they're going to call it the autistic spectrum or neurodivergency. On the spiritual point of view, we're going to look at it from the point of view of indigo children. So that may be a phrase that resonates with you. It depends on the age that you're at. You may resonate with something that's a little bit different. Maybe more crystal child is something that resonates more with you if you're younger generation. So check out those, especially if you happen to consider yourself neurodivergent, and go down the rabbit hole of learning a little bit about Dolores Cannon and some of her teachings. But the point of doing aligned walking is getting your posture into perfect alignment. And you need to get that spine straight again. And I've said this in probably 200 of my 300 videos, how very important it is to get into proper physical alignment. Because with your spine, that's how the energy flows up. Your spine holds the nervous system within it. And so your nervous system is activated, and that energy needs to flow. And if you're all kinked over and curved over, and then the energy is not going to flow very comfortably for you. And you're going to have any number of problems along the way. So as a movement, meditation, aligned walking gets you outside. It gets you sunshine. So you're also getting light codes. It gets you onto the ground. So you're grounding yourself. And even better, go barefoot if you can, because you separate yourself if you're wearing rubber shoes. It might look a little bit odd to other people, but who cares? Get out, get that posture straight, so you're helping facilitate the energy to flow up, because the spine is the superhighway to the divine, and the divine is our connection through the crown chakra, through the top of our head. And so what we want ideally is that energy flowing naturally and comfortably from the earth, from the bottom of our feet, up our legs, into the root chakra, going through all the other chakras, and activating that pineal gland so that we have that third eye awareness, and it's nice and clear for us, and then connecting us to high source as well, because there are chakras that are above us, our soul star, and many, many more above us that keep us connected. So if you feel a sense of disconnection from spirit, get that posture straight. That posture is what's going to help facilitate your awakening in ultimate ways. And so as you're out walking, it's practicing mindfulness, which is, where are my feet? Are they pointing forward? Where are my knees? Where are my hips? You're in the body. You're being mindful of the body, mindful of your posture, mindful of your movement. I think that for me, and for any other person that considers themselves neurodivergent or on the spectrum of light, You may find a moving meditation is a lot easier than sitting still and doing an absolute still type of meditation. If you still struggle with meditations, I'm going to recommend utilizing the power of guided meditations. And there's umpteen number of guided meditations available for you on YouTube. I particularly love Steve Noble. I'm going to do a shout out to him. Joe Dispenza, I've mentioned in other videos, fantastic meditations as well. Brain Sync. Kelly Howell, I want you to check out her meditations. I know they're available on YouTube. I know they're also available on Spotify, and she uses the power of technology, which is also incorporating like alpha waves and delta waves and binaural beats. So one ear's hearing one thing, another ear's hearing another, and that's an excellent way to like get in past your natural ability to block information, is when you're using binaural beats, because each ear is hearing something completely different. So that's Brain Sync, Kelly Howell. Please check her out. Her guided meditations are amazing. She also does a lot of subliminal programs if you're looking for reprogramming the mind, which goes back and ties into my video that I did about mind work. Check that one out if you're looking to do some work on changing your beliefs and your thought patterns. Another type of meditation is just regular practice of mindfulness. A great teacher of this is Jon Kabat-Zinn, and he has guided meditations to assist you with mindfulness, but it's basically the practice of being very mindful of whatever it is that you're doing in the present moment in time. It's keeping yourself in the now. So what are you doing now? I'm sitting in this chair. How am I sitting in this chair? Where are my feet? How does it feel? I'm driving my car. That requires a certain degree of mindfulness. I'm walking up the stairs. I'm going to take notice of every single stair and how my foot lands on the stair, and paying attention to the body, the sensations around me. What do I see? What do I smell? What do I hear? What's going on all around me? That is mindfulness. You can be using mindfulness as often as you can. In fact, it should be our regular state of being, because it keeps us in the now, as opposed to worrying about tomorrow and ruminating over yesterday. So the more you can practice mindfulness of, I am washing this dish. That's all I'm doing. I am mopping the floor. I am doing a puzzle. I am whatever it is you are doing. Be as mindful and as present with the doing that you are in that moment. It will greatly facilitate you on calming a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the stress, a lot of the worry that comes with, and confusion that comes with what's happening. Because as you're going through a spiritual awakening, you're going through so many shifts and changes at such a rapid rate that at times it's hard to keep up with where you are. And time kind of like, oh, you may start losing memories because they're not relevant to you anymore. They're not who you are. They're not things that you need to carry with you to this new self that is being created for you through the process of ascension. So the more we can practice presence as we go through a process of letting go of these things. And listen, it's not just a matter of just, I'm going to let go of everything, but as you deal with your traumas, as the traumas surface and are expunged, as released, as transmuted, as alchemized, a lot of that stuff just kind of disappears. And so you no longer need to hold on to it. And so that's what I'm talking about when I say your memories might start to dissipate a little bit, because you just don't need to hold on to those images of old identity that no longer exists. If you struggle with mindfulness, another throw out of a useful tool that you can use is, of course, Eckhart Tolle. I found his work to be very difficult to get through, but it is very profound. I had to read The Power of Now probably, I don't know, 10 times, and still it's sometimes something that my mind struggles with a little bit. So it's his writing style is what I find difficult, but you might resonate with him. It's very profound work, and he's an incredible teacher to bring us back into presence. So Eckhart Tolle, if you haven't read his works, I do highly recommend The Power of Now or The New Earth. That's an incredible book. I enjoyed that one actually better than The Power of Now. It was a little bit of an easier read. Again, if you want to really get into some deep meditations, let's try some Zen meditations, and that's going to be sitting with that back straight and focusing solely on observing the thoughts as they come, as they go. Observing your exhale is another excellent tool. There's many different breathing techniques that can be utilized in meditation to just focus on the breath. Which brings me into breath work, again, is a tool that I think is probably one of the most powerful and profound tools that you can use. There's so many different types and styles of breath work available to you, and it depends what type of situation that you're currently in. So if you're in a lot of anxiety and the energy is flowing, please stay into slow breath work, and that's practicing like timed. You can do triangular breathing, which is like 8 counts in, 8 counts out, and hold. 8 counts in, 8 counts out, and hold for 8 counts. Or you can do box breathing, 4 counts in, hold for 4 counts, out for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, out for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts. So those are 2 slow breathing techniques that you can utilize. Another Zen technique is just focusing on the exhale as you're doing a meditation, and start with 5 minutes and work your way up. It's going to be a muscle that you need to develop, no different than any other muscle that you have. So, trying to do an hour may be like way too much. So start with 5 minutes, start with 2 minutes, start with a minute, start with a single minute, set a timer, and just focus on your exhale as you're sitting there and observe your thoughts. And it's okay that thoughts come. You can't stop that. Thoughts are going to come, thoughts are going to go, thoughts are going to come, thoughts are going to go. Just picture it like clouds in your head that are just transitory and in movement. They're going to come, they're going to go, and let go of them. Don't hold on to any one particular one. It's the process of practicing observation and being in that watcher energy. So you're watching yourself and you're watching your thoughts, because you are not your thoughts. And that's a difficult lesson to learn. I've struggled with that a whole bunch on this journey, because trust me, my thoughts were very powerful through this process, and fear is a very, very overwhelming emotion that accompanies a lot of people's spiritual awakenings. It certainly did mine. So I've done multiple videos on fear, and if you're struggling with that particular issue and you want to talk about it, please feel free to set up a Zoom call with me. So that said, I want to just mention again, fast breathing is not something in the breathing techniques that I do, and I've listed on my group a bunch of different links to some fast breathing techniques that you can utilize that are incredibly powerful to help transmute and clear out the trauma, clear out the stuff that you're bringing in. So if you want to go even more advanced and into a mastery level, definitely check out some of those breathing techniques. And if you need some tips on that or helps on that, there is a chat within the group, Spiritual Warriors Support Group. There's a chat called Breathwork, and feel free to hop on into that chat and ask me any question that you want. I do breathwork almost every single day, and it has been one of the most transformative in assisting me clear the energy that I have needed to clear, especially clearing the traumas and all of those other things that we have lodged with us. So fast breathing techniques are something that I recommend strictly doing guided through the programs that I have vetted out. I'm sure there's other ones out there, and hey, give them a try. There is a list of those and a playlist here called Breathwork. So check out that playlist and hop on and try one of those if you're game. And some of those are real warrior work. Before I go, I just wanted to say thank you very much for all our new warriors that have joined the movement. This is all about our ascensions and all about you, and I want to help facilitate you in your spiritual awakening as much as I possibly can. If you're struggling, do not struggle in silence. Do not be alone and think that you are alone. A lot of people don't know what is happening to them and are feeling very overwhelmed and seeking solutions in non-spiritual places, and it's not going to assist you on this. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that a lot of people are looking to traditional means of psychology and traditional means of heading to a medicinal path to try to solve spiritual spiritual problems, and it's not going to work very well for you. I myself have tried that path, and it ultimately led me back to the spiritual path. So somewhere between the perspective of psychology and spirituality is a midpoint of transpersonal psychology. So if you are looking for a counselor, please make sure that they are a transpersonal psychologist, because then they have an understanding of awakenings, as well as look for somebody who is trauma informed, because as you go through an awakening, and if you have a lot of trauma, then you will have trauma flashbacks that are coming and emotional releases. And if you're talking to somebody who is not trauma informed, you're not going to get you out of these situations, and it can only exacerbate the confusion of what's happening to me. Do be aware that somewhere in the in-between, between psychology and spirituality, is transpersonal psychology. Otherwise, if you want to set up a Zoom call with me, that is done via the description below. You can see my email to get in touch with me. Send me off an email requesting a one-on-one Zoom call. The donations, all my services are via donation. Please, reasonable donations, and let's set something up so that I can give you the tools that you need to help shift wherever you're stuck. The stuckness and whatever energy is overwhelming you right now, let's set up a Zoom call so that we can come up with a strategy to actually implement some tools and techniques and resources to get you unstuck. And that's what this journey is all about, is helping and get through this spiritual awakening. So with that said, I hope everybody has a super awesome day. Get out into the sunshine, and let's get that energy flowing and rising anew. Peace out.